You put away $1, just one, and you forget about it. Decades later, that dollar has quietly turned into a small fortune. You didn't work harder. You didn't get a raise. You didn't get lucky. You let a force do the heavy lifting, the most powerful force in all of money. A man named Einstein supposedly called it the eighth wonder of the world. Whether he said it or not, the math agrees. And right now, this force is doing one of two things. It's either building you, or it's burying you. By the end of this, you'll know exactly which way yours is pointed, and how to flip it. There's a number nobody really teaches you in school. It's not a stock pick. It's not a hot tip. It's compound interest. And it sounds boring right up until you see what it actually does to time and money. Here's the difference. Simple interest grows in a straight line. You earn on what you put in, that's all you get. Compound interest is different. You earn on your money, and then you earn on those earnings too. Next year, you earn on that. The growth feeds itself. And that one small change turns a slow trickle into a flood. Here's why it feels like magic. Money that compounds doesn't add, it multiplies. Picture a small balance growing a little each year. At first, it's almost nothing, painfully slow. But each gain you make becomes the new starting point. So the next gain is a little bigger, then bigger again, then bigger again. It's a snowball rolling downhill, tiny and slow at the top, massive and unstoppable at the bottom. The longer it rolls, the faster it grows, and nobody is pushing it. Gravity does the work. In money, that gravity is time. Now let's make it concrete. Say your money grows about 7% a year, roughly what a broad market has averaged over long historical stretches. And to be clear, this is education, not a promise. No return is ever guaranteed. Markets fall. Some years are ugly. But at that average rate, your money roughly doubles about every 10 years. So 1 becomes 2, 2 becomes 4, 4 becomes 8, 8 becomes 16. And wait long enough, and that final doubling adds more wealth than every single year before it combined. That's the part your brain simply refuses to picture in advance. Now here's the cruelest twist. The single biggest factor isn't how much money you invest, it's when you start. Let me show you. Imagine two people. The first one invests a small amount each month for just 10 years in their 20s, then stops completely, never adds another cent. The second one waits, gets a later start, then invests for 30 straight years, 3 times as long. Who ends up richer? Shockingly often, it's the early starter, even though they put in far less money overall. The early one didn't have more cash, they had more time. And time is the real fuel that compounding runs on. This is exactly why starting early wins. Because most of the growth happens at the very end. Picture that curve again. For years and years, it looks almost flat, disappointing even. You start to wonder if it's working at all. Then it bends, it steepens, and it explodes upward off the top of the chart. The people who quit early quit right before the magic was about to hit. They never saw the payoff because they walked away too soon. The ones who win simply refused to interrupt the climb. So the rule is simple, even when it's hard to follow. Time in the market beats timing the market. Every single year you wait is a year the snowball doesn't roll, and you can't go back later and add that time in. A dollar invested at 20 has decades to multiply. The same exact dollar at 40 has half the runway, and far, far less than half the final result. The money matters, of course, but the clock is the real asset, and it only moves in one direction. But growth needs feeding. The second lever is consistency, not heroic, dramatic, all-in moves. Small, automatic, boring deposits. The same amount every single month, no matter what the headlines are screaming. Automating it removes the one weak link in the whole system. You, on a bad day, deciding to skip just this once. Steady quietly beats flashy. The tortoise outcompounds the hare, not because it's faster, but because it never, ever stops. Now, a reality check. Compounding isn't only ever on your side. Two silent forces are eating into it the whole time. First, inflation. It slowly lowers what your money can actually buy. Your number goes up, but each dollar buys a little less. Second, fees. Those tiny percentages that look harmless on paper. But fees compound too, against you. A 1% fee sounds like nothing, but stretched over decades, it can quietly swallow a huge slice of your final balance. The same math that builds your wealth can leak it away just as silently. And now, the dark mirror. The exact same force that can build you can also bury you. Run the machine in reverse, and compounding becomes your enemy. Because debt compounds too. When you owe money, interest grows on what you borrowed. And then, it grows on the interest itself. The snowball that should have lifted you up is now rolling straight at you, getting bigger with every turn. Same force, opposite direction. Nowhere is this clearer than on a credit card. Carry a balance, and the interest does not sleep. Many cards charge over 20% a year. Think about that. That's compounding working against you at brutal, relentless speed. The thing you bought keeps getting more expensive the longer you wait. The debt grows while you do absolutely nothing. The very same way your savings would have grown, just pointed the wrong direction. It's the engine of wealth running backward. And here's the trap that keeps people stuck for years. The minimum payment. It feels responsible. You're paying something, right? But on a high-interest balance, most of that payment often goes straight to interest, barely touching what you actually owe. So the balance crawls down at a snail's pace, while fresh interest keeps stacking on top. You can pay for years and years and still feel like you're running in place, because the machine is compounding faster than you're shrinking it. So how do you flip it? You take the same force and turn it back around. Step 1. Stop feeding the reverse. High-interest debt is the fire you put out first, because it's compounding fastest against you. Paying down isn't just emotional relief. Mathematically, it's one of the most guaranteed returns you will ever get. Every dollar of interest you don't have to pay is a dollar that stops multiplying against you. That's a return the market can't promise. Then, point the force forward. Attack the costliest debt first. Once that one is gone, take that exact payment and roll it into the next debt. And watch them fall like dominoes, each one faster than the last. The instant the reverse machine stops, you get to start the forward one. Redirect that same monthly amount out of debt and into something that grows. The habit was never the problem. The direction was. You already know how to do this. So here's the whole thing in one single picture. Two people, same starting line, same exact force. One steps onto a rising golden escalator. Small deposits, started early, then left alone to do its work. The other steps onto a sinking one. Debt, ignored, quietly doubling in the dark. Same force, same math, opposite directions. The machine honestly doesn't care which one you're on, it just runs, quietly, every single day. So the only real question is, which way yours is pointed right now? And here's the good news. You don't need to be rich to start. You need to start to get there. The smallest move today, one automatic deposit, one debt you finally stop feeding, sets the gears turning. And then time does the rest. Remember, this is education, not financial advice. But the math is just the math, and it's sitting there, waiting for your very first move. So if this changed how you see your money, subscribe. Because this whole channel is about how the money machine really works, one system at a time. I broke the early start trick into a 60-second short. It's right there. Go pull that lever, and I'll see you in the next one.